to another video. I finished this wall behind me yesterday. I didn't get much footage of it, just because the battery ran out. I'm trying something slightly different today. I'm using the tablet, so I'm going to be switching between the phone and the tablet today, trying to get more footage. Now I don't know how much the tablet will hold, but in a minute I'm going to put it on time lapse. This is the final process that I go through when dealing with this wall behind any of the walls, and that is just to make sure there's a filling. The idea is then once I've plastered the whole room then is ready just for a quick sanding, and we'll be ready then for painting. The one good thing I've found with this Make Good multi-finish is that it's ready to be painted within 48 hours afterwards. So hopefully I'm going to be finished by tomorrow morning or tomorrow lunchtime. That way then I can leave it over the weekend, and by next week it'll be ready then to or certainly Monday, Tuesday, be ready for finishing, painting and that type of thing. I'm sorry that all this week has just been about plastering, and it's going to be like that for a couple of weeks. I've got one more bedroom to get ready, which is just across the hallway there, and actually I think what I'm going to do is go and show you that room now. So as I said, I'm just going to show you this room. So as you can see, this room is absolutely jam-packed full of everything this house has, and that's got to be moved and sorted, so that will be done next week. So back to in here, what I've got left to do in here is that section there, this section down here. Excuse the plywood, that's what I'm using as a tripod, and that wall there. So I can't see it taking that long. I know it's taken me longer than it would most people, but that's the nature of it. So I'm just going to talk you through what I've got down here. It's just a drywall mix, and I use it as a filler. And it's a fresh, well, I call it fresh, but I've not added any water to it. I've not added any water to it or anything else to it. So I'm just using that. I'm also using a 300mm knife and an 80mm knife, and I'll show you the technique before I then put it onto time lapse. So I've loaded up the knife right the way across it, and then all I do is go over to the area, put the filler on, and then scrape as much of it off as I can. So I'm only leaving a thin layer, but it's enough that it's filling any small voids I'm hoping I don't have to do this as much with the gypsum multi-finish, which I shall be starting fairly soon. But this is the only way that I've been able to get these walls completely and utterly smooth with this particular brand of multi-finish. So what I do is I go across the whole wall doing this. Then I'll spend my time on Monday, just going over it, sanding it, getting it lovely and smooth before moving on to the next bit, which will be mist coating it ready for doing any of the finish work. And I'll talk you through mist coating. I think I talked about it when we did the bathroom. We always do 3 coats of mist, working from a 50-50 mix up to a 20-60 mix. So, and the reason I've got the smaller knife is when there's a bigger dent like I've got here, and it's slightly deeper, I can just go over that with this knife first, and then come over the top with the bigger one. So we're going to go over the whole wall with this. I do this on older properties as well, to get the walls ready for painting. I know a lot of you, the pros are thinking to yourself, well, you've just spent all that time yesterday plastering, why are you now going over filling it? Well, like I've mentioned previously, I'm not a plasterer by trade, I'm a painter and decorator. And I don't get, or can't get, it perfect. Yes, I could have got in a pro to do the plastering, sure, but then I wouldn't have the skills that I've got now that I had then. And I think it's always a good thing to try and learn something new. I know they say you can never teach an old dog new tricks, but I don't think I'm that old. But we'll go over the whole wall doing this, so what I'm going to do now is put you on time lapse whilst I do this, and then I'll bring you back. And I thought I'd talk you through how I do a mix up with this multi-finish, and then we'll get on and do, I think I'm going to start on this wall, small wall down here, and then do the one that's going across here. Right. Again, I've just finished filling that wall. You'll have seen the time lapse, and like I promised, I'm just going to go over how I mix this make good ready multi-finish. This is the important thing. It's powder to water, not water to powder. So I put 2 jugs, which are both about which are 2 litres each of water in. Then using a garden trowel, because it's the only thing I could think to use, and this is all it's used for, is putting the powder into the water. This never touches any liquids of any shape or form. And I'll put 6 in to start with, and typical, an aeroplane happens to go across as I'm doing this. I don't think there's any accurate way of measuring this. It always seems to work out slightly differently every time I do it. Right, what I've got here is an ordinary 600 watt power drill, and on the end of it I've got a mixing paddle. And all I'm going to do now is just... So I know that's not enough, so I'm going to add another 3. Okay, good sized ones. And mix it again. Still not enough, so another 3. You'll get a feel for it in the end of how much powder to water there is, but I still haven't gotten there yet. So I just add it as I'm going along. I mean, so far we're up to 6, 9, 12. So not quite there, so I'm going to add another 1. But also at this stage I'm going to take my bucket trowel, which is just a square-ended trowel, and just whip around the edges, because what we don't want is any powder to be left. We want a nice clean paste. Okay, so the consistency I'm looking for is when I lift out the paddle, it leaves, you know, an indentation. Okay, and it still sticks to the paddle. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is to just clean the paddle. Okay, so I'm just going to lift it out. And just over here off of screen, I've got a bucket of water. I'm just going to dip it in. And clean it off and place it into an empty bucket, a clean empty bucket. Okay, so I'm just going to move you to a spot where I can, or you can see what I'm doing. I don't know quite how well this is going to work. I'm going to be working on, going to be working on this wall just down here. Okay. Hiya, just back from lunch. I've put one coat on each of these walls on either side. I'm just about to do the second coat, and then hopefully I'm going to, unfortunately I can't do it on camera, is get either side of the chimney breast. I can't do the walls that are facing from the chimney breast because these two end walls will need time to go off, so they'll be done tomorrow. If I've got enough time, then I'll do the window wall, but we'll see how things go. So I've done up the mix and I'm ready now to get on with it. So I'll just load up my hawk and I'll put you on time lapse again and get on with it. You'll notice that this particular mix is slightly thinner than that I used this morning for the first coat. Like I've said before, I do prefer a slightly thinner, thicker coat for me first, and then I get it nice and sloppy for the second. So, right, I'll leave it there and put you on time lapse and we'll get on with it.